Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back after a longer time with another episode of World of Warships. I'm not even sure if I can call it episode, we're just basically heading into battle in one of my still favorite ships, the Pommern. Man, I still cannot believe how Wargaming has butchered the secondaries on many ships, but yeah. This is my most played ship still till this day. I don't know. I just really like it. It's lots of fun. It's multi-purpose ship. It is horrible at dealing with enemy battleships. It is great at crushing cruisers, which should be your primary target if you are in any of the H-class battleships, which means anything from Gneisenau to Bismarck to FDG to anything else which you can get your hands on. So yeah, fun stuff there. I did have a fun match for Pommern where I did actually manage to achieve Kraken with it, but that was even before the 0.10 patch was released, and that was during the time when I was rocking only the laptop, and the whole footage just ended up looking like a total mess. So I wasn't able to feature that, and I was longing for a match where I would be able to get the Kraken, and here I was actually able to pull it off. So we're gonna have some fun with this. Unfortunately, my demise was of course in the hands of the enemy carrier, because you cannot simply survive a match in World of Warships when a carrier is involved in German battleship. The AA is just horrible. And yeah, so as you can see, my aim is really bad. The enemy turrets is opening up on me. The issue with the German battleships, especially those that have 3 guns in each turret, is that the dispersion is just horrible. It is horrible. If you have the chance, then definitely try to stick with the ships that have the 2 guns mounted in each turret. This is why Hanover was so accurate. Like, it was oversized Bismarck, if I would call it so, or maybe just like slightly larger FDG. It was lots of fun. I'm really sad that they took out the Satsumo and the Hanover, but yeah, at least we know that they keep on trying to put in lots of fun content, and who knows, maybe one day it will have a return, because after all, we did have like 2 rounds of the big hunt, so who knows what they are planning. So yeah, fun stuff. That Lexington, that's gonna be the death of me. But anyhow, we are trying to reposition. So as I see, majority of the team is located on the B point, so I'm trying to refocus my attention towards the D. Now, as you can see based on the map, our team is doing God knows what. It looks like the friendly cruiser is trying to ram the island, and the 2 battleships are just screwing around, and I like to play a bit more aggressively, which is usually why I never survive too long in these beautiful ships, because I try to push in, and yeah, it looks like I'm YOLOing, but it's mostly because the team which I'm playing with are not supporting me, so who knows. And yeah, here you can see again that trying to shoot at the enemy turrets is not working out well. Out of 12 shots, I was able to only land 1. I did get the penetration shot, but we are like a couple of minutes in already, and I have landed only 2 shots successfully as of yet. So that's definitely not looking good for me, and therefore I'm trying to make the push for the D point in order to try and support our flank here, because the worst thing which can happen to your team is to lose a flank. That way the enemy can then start chasing you from the side, and it's just a whole lot of mess. So here I'm trying to turn around a bit. I did pop the Hydro because I do know that there's the enemy Benson on the D point. And what I'm trying to do here is slow down the contest of the D. They already do have quite the point advantage, and here even shooting through the island, I was able to land those shots. Most of them were over penetration because I have 80 rounds loaded, but yeah. And here the worst thing which can happen to you in a cruiser is to be caught red-handed out in the open against an enemy German battleship. So refocusing my attention, I go for the Bayard. We see that the Benson was able to launch those torpedoes. I'm going to try to start dodging, and I need to also keep in mind that there is an island in front of me, which is why you're going to keep seeing the camera flinch forward and back so that I know that I will not end up getting stuck on the island, because that is the worst thing which can happen. And here you can see that due to my aggressive play, I'm the only one taking shots from multiple ships, which is gonna deplete my HP quite a lot here, which is problematic, but I need to keep on pushing because our team is doing God knows what. So yeah, this is what I really hate. I'm getting like minimal support here. The Vermont and the North Carolina are just screwing around, and I'm trying to claim the first kill here, but unfortunately I'm unable to do so. So the Bayard was killed by someone else. Benson is just harassing me with the HE shells, so I'm trying to dodge them, and here I'm gonna have to go behind the island and turn around it completely in order to try and recover, because the German battleships, they do have lots of HP, but they do have extremely slow recovery on the repairs, so it usually takes like minute point something for me to be able to pop in the other repair modules, and it takes like only 30 seconds of the duration, during which if you take additional damage you have reduced chance of how much HP can be recovered. And here, because I was turning around, the enemy Vladivostok was able to land in a couple of more shots. So yeah, not really funny. And as you can see, I'm not really able to land that many shells from this angle. So I'm still trying to shoot 8p at him, knowing very well that I wouldn't be able to do too much. I would have to switch to HE rounds in order to battle him at this angle, but this is not really too advantageous for me. So trying to turn around behind the island, letting the repair module run its course so that I can recover as much HP and stay in the battle for as long as my team will need me. So here I'm gonna be re-engaging the enemy. I'm having to be careful about Lexington's attacks. For some reason, I don't know why he went for Prince Eugene there and not for me. I seem like the better choice. The German cruisers, especially the premium ones like Mainz and such, they do have better AA in comparison to like the Hipper, based on which they are built around. They just have different weapons. Well, Prince Eugene has actually the same exact weapons, it's just overpriced hipster, and it has repair modules, so you can stay in the battle a bit longer if you screw up. But trying to return fire on the enemy Vladivostok, and of course none of the shells are landing. Horrible aim there, but I'm trying to push in at least. So here somehow we're able to take out the enemy squadron from Lexington. Prince Eugene is gonna survive this, and he's gonna be even shocked in the comments himself that how the hell did he survive. Although based on my experience with the ship, you can actually take quite the punishment if you play carefully, and you can still remain active in the combat. So because enemy has not the greatest point advantage, I mean it's just 4 points in advance, but it's ramping up because they are now contesting third point. What I'm trying to do here is push out and contest the D point. Hopefully the two battleships are gonna help us out. And here I actually see a moment which might be detrimental to us. So it looks like our friendly enemy, or our friendly carrier, is AFK, and this means that the enemy cruiser, which is contesting the B point, is gonna take out our carrier. And also, as I am gonna be trying to contest the D point here, we're gonna see that the enemy Lexington is gonna be repositioning itself towards the C9 point, getting behind that tiny island over there. And this is one of those moments where you realize that, like, what should you do? You know, if I would go with the Pommern against the Lexington, most of the points would not be contested, and therefore the enemy would achieve victory even faster. I'm trying to contest the point, but the enemy Cleveland is definitely harassing us and making it extremely difficult. Also, I do not have exactly the best shot or angle at the enemy Vladivostok, so we're just trying to focus our attention on contesting this point. And here popping the Hydro was a smart idea, as you can see a volley of torpedoes coming our way, and fortunately for me, the enemy Vermont is the one who is gonna take majority of those torpedoes. I'm gonna be able to dodge those salvos. But yeah, trying to stay in the cap point, trying to get at least assist in capture. I'm gonna start returning fire on the enemy battleship, and thanks to the angling, I was even able to land a Citadel shot there, so really nice, really nice. And trying to repeat that success, I was never able to land another Citadel here again, because, yeah, well, unfortunately. And fortunately, even for me, the enemy Cleveland is now covered. I do not understand how I was able to land over penetration shots on the Cleveland. Usually the enemy cruisers do not respond well to the German battleship primary armaments, but here I wasn't just lucky enough, and after the second fire has been set up by Cleveland, I popped in the fire extinguisher module and I started to push out. We do see that the enemy has conquered the flank. They do have control over 3 points. At this point, I do not have a single kill. The enemy is getting quite the point advantage. They have 2 times the points we have, so we really need to do something. And somewhere around here is where you see the Lexington moving itself, and this is the point where, yeah, do you go for the enemy carrier or do you try to contest the points? This is where I made the choice to go against the majority of the enemy, and this is what might have led to my death eventually, but who knows. So seeing that the enemy Vladivostok was at the brink of death, I fired the salvo, landing only 1 shell, which was able to claim the kill. And the footage is a bit choppy. I don't know what the hell was happening with the servers that day, but I did experience some mixed response from the game, so who knows. And here the Cleveland, I'm not really sure why the hell was it not running away, because this is the worst thing which you can do. If you are in Cleveland, you need to hug the island and try to make sure nobody shoots at you. You do have decent reload on your primary armament, but against battleships you just need to keep peppering them with the HE rounds in order to wither them down, but that wasn't the case here. Facing off against the enemy North Carolina, I'm trying to focus the superstructure. This is the only way which I can see at this angle to land a successful penetration shot, or at least try to turn off the front turrets, which will help me out. So who knows, but yeah, I'm trying to face off against the NC. Pushing in, he is backed into an island, and I'm starting to turn around here because Pommern has those torpedo tubes, and I'm trying to also go for the C point so that it can be contested, but I need to be careful here because with the amount of HP that the North Carolina has at its disposal, it can ram me and lose the match. And here I took quite the pummeling as I was turning around. Able to land at Citadel on the North Carolina was crucial, as the torpedoes were able to finish off the enemy battleship, and therefore I was able to start moving in and try to contest the C point. I had to be careful though, because the enemy German cruiser Johann de Witt, which is a tier 9 Dutch cruiser, which has access to 2 of those flying squadrons was right behind the island, and because I'm detected, I need to be careful on how I try to contest this point. As you can see, enemy has still twice as many points as we do. I'm at 3 kills, I have over 170 secondary shots, and I'm just trying to do my part here. So I wasn't really sure what he's gonna do. I'm trying to contest the point without taking any damage so that the contest would not be interrupted. I was trying to see if I can angle myself so that I would be able to land a sneaky shot at him. I wasn't really sure how he was facing at this point, but soon enough, once he pops in the hydro, I am detected and he's gonna send in that squadron. So I'm gonna try to actually dodge both of them. And if you saw my video on Johan David, you should be able to see that if you are able to anticipate where the enemy might go to, you are able to deal quite the damage. So here I was able to take in some of those bombs, but fortunately for me, I was already able to contest the point beforehand, so it was not interrupted. I do have one assisted capture, one capture on its own, so we are able to keep on going. And I tried to launch the torpedoes here. I really did not realize at that point that he still had the hydro active, so he would have seen the torpedoes coming in even from behind the island, but I was kind of desperate to see maybe he would try to push out and do something stupid. You never know. People might do weird things. And here in the moment of desperation, when I had HE rounds loaded, I was actually able to get the destroyer kill. So there goes my 4th kill. I had to turn around and try to go back and see if we can maybe capture either the A point or the B point. I wasn't really sure what the hell was Vermont doing, because the enemy cruiser was out there and he could have taken them out, but it ended up having to be done by me. Fortunately, I was able to land some shells on the Fletcher, which of course over penetration, because AP rounds on enemy destroyer is never really that great, but the enemy Fletcher was able to be taken out. Now, unfortunately, even our destroyer was taken out, so now it's 2 battleships versus a cruiser and a carrier. And of course, me knowing that the Dutch cruiser might be turning around here somewhere, I wasn't really sure what Vermont was up to, but anyhow, I saw he was coming in, so I tried to angle myself, hoping to land a citadel or something. I wasn't able to really deal too much damage. I did get the Confederate achievement there. I did launch the torpedoes. I wasn't really sure if they would hit, and because I wasn't sure what he's gonna try to do, if he's gonna ram me, I fired the 2nd salvo. And here I was really nervous because Lexington chose me as the next target. So trying to dodge, I almost crapped my pants when I saw those bombs fall all next to me, but with the next approach I wasn't so lucky, because of course I can only dodge so much and the battleship is massive, and trying to dodge the bombers was just impossible, and German battleships have horrible AA, so there it was, I got killed. I was really optimistic that maybe we might still be able to turn it around. After all, Vermont was able to contest the A point, but even when he was trying to then move on towards the B point with less than a minute on the timer, we weren't able to really deal that much with the battle anymore, and we did effectively lose. So yeah, it was a really fun match, though. I did kind of spend a lot of time at the start of the mission, especially screwing around, trying to find a proper position and supporting the weaker flank, which eventually turned out that either flank was quite weak, and especially if your carrier goes AFK, it's just impossible to try and deal with the onslaught of the enemy planes. We did end up losing the match, and here you can see the final screen. So I was able to get those 5 kills. I was able to land even some torpedoes and such. quite a lot of fun match, I have to admit. Yes, of course, the carrier was the thing which killed me, but at the end of the time, you have to realize that we do not see battleships in use today, especially due to how carriers play out important roles. So there's that. So yeah, if you did like the episode, or the match specifically, I don't know why I keep calling it episode, give it a big thumbs up, helps a lot with the algorithm. If you had any fun matches lately, let me know. If you do not like the carriers and you are afraid to see what's gonna happen with the Russian carriers which are being slowly implemented into the game, let me know in the comment section as well. If you want to see more fun World of Warships content, check out the playlist in the video's description. And if you want to know what the channel is currently up to, consider subscribing, as I publish fun content like this on a weekly basis. I do playthroughs, comparisons, guides, all sorts of cool stuff. So go check it out. The link is in the description. I'm going to wish you a pleasant rest of the day, and hopefully I will see you in the comments or at the next one. Thank you for watching, everyone. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye for now.